Solo Witness is a unique endgame challenge that tests your durability and mechanics under time pressure. From juggling buffs, dealing with different types of enemies and the wipe clock ticking down on you, to dodging his attack patterns while executing your damage rotation and also having a final damage check at the end. I'm Dato and I have soloed the Witness on Hunter, Warlock and Titan. In this video, I will explain everything you need to know so you can solo the Witness on any class of your choice. I will timestamp the video, so feel free to jump to the parts that you are looking for specifically. Let's start with the basics and how this encounter works. In this encounter, your goal is to break those 6 buttons to start the DPS phase. To do that, you need the Glyph Breaker buff via breaking the Hands bracelet. In order to do that, we gotta understand the hands in this encounter. There are 3 hand types. Triangle hand, that's coming from the sky and attacks with a triangle shape targeting you. Square hand, that spawns from the side of the map and attacks with a square or wall shape. And lastly, the circle hand, coming from the ground and has a set position, attacking with the circle shape. I mentioned it earlier, we gotta break those bracelets in order to receive the Glyph Breaker. So how do we break those? If you step in the attack of the hand shape and shoot at the bracelet, it will reveal a color. That color corresponds to a specific shape. Green means triangle buff, red means square buff, and yellow or bronze is circle buff. In order to have a shape buff, you need to stand in the shape's attack for a few seconds. There are 3 shape buffs you can receive. Hexahedron from square hand, pyramidal from triangle, and spherical from circle hand. To make it simple, I'm calling it square, triangle, and circle buff. Here are some really important things you have to know. Number 1. You can avoid grabbing another buff when breaking the hand by just moving quickly in and out of the attack zone, so you avoid grabbing unnecessary shape buffs. Number 2. The hand never takes its own buff to break. That means, for example, triangle hand will never break with the triangle buff. That information pretty much makes every hand a 50-50 gamble as long as you're using a different buff when checking what buff the hand needs. Number 3. Double breaking. In order to double break, we gotta prepare the buttons. What do I mean with preparing? In order to do that, what I like to use is Uncivil Discourse. The roll does not matter, as long you don't have a damage perk on it equipped. What makes this gun unique is that it can prep your buttons with only 1 shot. But there are some requirements to check. For the first phase of running, you need to have Radiant and less than 10 stacks of Solo Operative. That is enough to make a button low HP. Later running phases, when you have max stacks on Solo Op, you don't need Radiant anymore, and you can just shoot the button each. Make sure you don't have Radiant here or you break the button with 1 shot. Tune-up weapon is a requirement. After you are done with prepping, use your weapon to flick from one button to the other button, and that's how you double break. This trick does not guarantee you double breaks all times, but trust me, it helps you running phase a lot. Later at some point while in the running phase, you will encounter what we call a test. The indicator for that is the screaming hand with a bright yellow glow on it. The Witness is gonna spawn in some crystals and your job is to mash the crystal to the shape hand you broke by breaking the crystals that are not needed. You always have to break 6 crystals for it. For example, my test hand was this triangle hand. That means Witness wants a triangle shape. So I'm gonna break 3 crystals in the top right and 3 on the top left. Now it looks like a triangle. After a couple seconds, he will do a skill check and make the ground lethal for a split second. There's an audio cue for it. He will do a charging sound into a blink sound. That's your last warning. You should start jumping into the air now. Here are the crystals for the other shapes. I got some more general running tips that will help you. Start with the same sequence at the beginning. Always start checking what triangle hand needs and grab that buff. Next, break the hand and prep the button. Break the hand and prep the buttons for the double break. Go for the double break and check the next triangle hand that spawns in. You will have a 50% chance to break. If you are lucky, go for the next double break. If not, grab the other buff needed and gamble another 50-50 at the hand while you grabbing the new buff. That's the starting sequence you should be doing every single time at the beginning. A good indicator for your running is the 2-minute mark. If you only have 1 button left, you are in a very good spot. Leave this right subjugator alive and kill the left one. Every single time when you break a button, subjugator will spawn. But if one of the 2 subjugators are alive, it will block them from spawning in. Stick to the left side of the map. Since you are leaving the right subjugator alive, it's more safe to play the left side of the map. Only go over to the right side if needed. For example, you have to grab a buff. I highly recommend killing the creeps and weavers before taking the buff. Focus order for ads. This is a priority list to kill ads, as they are the most common reason to wipe at running. Creeps, subjugators, weavers, and lastly, chieftains. Always cleanse with 3x resonance. If you get Glyph Breaker and you have 3x resonance, you can cleanse yourself in the middle plate when breaking the button. An explosive payload weapon can break crystals with only one shot. You can swap your primary for a weapon with explosive payload and break those crystals with only one shot needed. But personally, I'm lazy, I just 2-burst the crystals with my pulse rifle. Be careful of the ground hand spawning. I highly recommend staying at the higher ground on the left side, because there is a chance when the ground hand disappears to spawn below you in one of his set spawn points, which can result in you dying instantly. Chieftains can ruin your runs at DPS. The projectiles from the chieftain can block bullets and rockets. There are 2 main ways to deal with them if you hate chieftains like me. Number 1, there's a technique called spawn blocking. There are 2 types of waves spawning in. There's a chieftain wave and a non-chieftain wave. The waves are always swapping after each spawn. You gotta grab the last glyph when the chieftain wave was the last recent wave. Because if you have glyph breaker and only 1 button left, the game will block the ads from spawning in until you get rid of the buff. The moment you break the last button, the next wave will spawn, but since you timed your glyph breaker with the chieftain wave, the next wave that spawn is the non-chieftain wave, so your left side will be free from chieftains. There will be a chieftain close on the right side. You can kill him after breaking the button. Just make him low HP before popping the button and finish him after starting DPS. The second way is just kill both chieftains after popping the last button. But you gotta be quick because your damage phase is about to start. Now we gotta talk about the DPS phase. You've probably seen that you have to dodge his laser attacks in the DPS phase, which can make the DPS phase a little difficult while doing your damage rotation at the same time. Also, he's gonna do the same skill check from the crystal test mid DPS. Here's a quick witness attacks 101 with DaVinci data. So pretty much how witness attacks work is pretty much he will split the island depending on what hand he's using to attack. He will split the island like this in half. He will always attack one of the half first and then the other half. He will never attack the same half twice. So for example, if he is attacking with his laser here in the front first, his second laser attack will always be in the back here. Same thing if he starts in the back, his second laser attack will be in the front. He will never attack the same half twice. So he's never gonna do like the back into another back. Same thing goes on the right side. So if he split it with his right hand, he will split the island like this. Same thing, right? Shoot the laser on the front and then the back, or the back first and the front. Here's the thing, since we know how he's splitting the island with his left or right hand, so pretty much we could do this and divide the island in sections. And what I like to do is having 2 safe zone sections. These are the safe zone sections. So the front and the back. You want to avoid the left and the right side. So pretty much what happens if, for example, Witness is attacking with his right hand and attacks like the front here, we know the back is safe, right? Same thing, if he attacks the back, we know the front is safe. Same thing on with his left hand. If he attacks the front, the back is safe. If he attacks the back, the front is safe. So pretty much all you gotta do is just like move from front and back. Like it does not matter what attack is he's doing, right, with his left or right hand, as long as you just identify which spots are safe, just move to that spot. And since you know he's gonna attack the other safe zone with his second attack, so all you gotta do is just move to his laser attack afterwards, right? For example, if he's attacking like the front first and you're standing like here, then you know for sure the next attack is gonna be in the back. So the moment the front attack just disappears, just move up, right? Move up, stay here, and you're safe from the second laser. That's pretty much like how witness attacks work. That should be everything you need to know about running and DPS. Now we go over to the class specifics like loadouts, class running tips, and rotations. Let's start with the easiest of them all, Hunter. Okay, for Hunter, I recommend to have 3 loadouts. For the running loadout, I'm using Radiant Dance Machines. Combining Radiant Dance Machines with Ascension and Threaded Spectre just makes running so much easier. Try to get 200 weapons and at least 70 class. Try to have around 100 Super 2 and everything else, just like, in my opinion, doesn't matter. Because you generally don't want to use your Magnetic Nade or Smoke Bomb inside running. But you could do that if you want to do, like for example, deal with the Subjugator at the beginning. But make sure you don't use your abilities because you need that later on for the damage phase. The armor set I am recommending is personally 4-piece Kingsfall. The 2-piece set will give you a little bit more ammo, and the 4-piece can save you in really iffy situations. The other options are like 4-piece Void of Glass if you want to be really safe at running, because just having a permanent supply of orbs combining with radiant dance machines. And since we are using acrobat's dodge, as long as you're using ascension and then just shoot anything, you will have like almost 24/7 restoration thanks to purpose and having a solar super. If you want to have a super safe running experience, but you might struggle a little bit with ammo on the ammo side. Just keep it in mind. Other options would also be 2-piece Kingsfall, 2-piece Europa if you really want an insane amount of ammo, but usually like running, as long as you're running like a heavy ammo finder and special ammo finder and you're killing enough ads, you should be fine. And the last recommendation is like 2-piece Kingsfall and 2-piece Salvation's Edge. Those are my recommendations for the armor set bonuses. Weapon wise, for the loadout, I am using a Chattering Bone. The reason why is because number one, it is a pulse rifle with attrition orbs and chaos reshape. Also, because it's a pulse rifle, it is easier to get stacks for the solo operative. We need to have precision weapon finder blows so we can increase our stacks. And the max cap stacks is like 25x. So your goal is it to get as many crit kills as possible before the first damage phase. It is not the end of the world if you're having a little bit less, but yeah, try to aim like getting as many crit kills as possible. Also, it has like a really good ammo generation stat, because like if you have abundant ammo on it, you will print enough ammo. For the rest of the loadout, I am using the Uncivil Discourse at the beginning, but I will manually swap to the Still Hunt after I'm prepping the buttons. Just make sure you don't have any damage perks on the Uncivil Discourse and you are chilling. For the rocket launcher, we're using Hasn't Vengeance. My personal choice is like with the last impression roll, so you don't need to do any setups, but you could go with the elemental honing roll if you want to maximize on a little bit more damage, but you need to prep your honing on the chieftain, and you gotta get like 3 stacks before going into, right? So you have to do an ascension, right? Getting the arc stack, you have to do shoot something with rand weapon, and then you gotta shoot the button with your Still Hunt. So you're starting with ×3 honing, and then you're doing the grenade into radiant dodge, so you have the void stack too, so you have four honing stacks into damage phase, right? And then you will extend your honing when you pop transcendence and you chuck your nade, your transcendence nade. It will give you the last stack, the stasis one, and you add 5 stacks, and you will reset your timer too. You need to prep for it, or else it will be worse than damage, in my opinion. So if you don't wanna do all that, last impression is good to go. It got buffed recently, and then so it's more than enough, I promise you. Make sure you have like auto loading on it. Right, last impression, I'm running impact casing, quick launch, handling masterwork, and quick access sling. That is my role on the Heathen. Same thing about the one with element honing. For the subclass, for the aspects and fragments, obviously we're using the golden gun with acrobat dodge. I like triple jump, the snare bomb, and the magnetic nade, so we get debuff options on the witness. Combining with the aspects like ascension and threaded spectre makes your running super safe. We're getting some damage reduction via ascension, and the enemies starting to turn into stormtroopers because you amplified, and having a threaded spectre, so a clone that distracts the enemy on top of that, makes like running so much easier. For the fragments, we have Facet of Courage, Facet of Purpose, Justice for the stats, or Rune depending on your stats, Facet of Dawn and Dominance. So Courage is just for final stand, so we slice him later on, and we do 10% more damage on the golden gun. Purpose makes running super easy, right? Because like we will be printing a lot of orbs, so with Purpose it helps us staying alive. Facet of Dawn is to making sure we are resetting our radiant timer if we chuck a smoke bomb, and Facet of Dominance, so our magnetic nade will debuff. For the armor mods, these are the mods I'm using. Obviously one heavy ammo finder, one special ammo finder, to helping me generating more bricks. Kinetic siphon, so because we are using a Chattering Bone, so we're getting an up of power when we're doing rapid finder blows. Make sure you have one font mod active, because if you don't have a ticking armor charges, and if you swap loadouts, you will lose your armor charges. So make sure you have like a font mod on your your stuff. In my case, I was choosing a grenade font. Kinetic loader, because we're using Shattering Bone, so it makes reloading it a little bit faster. And then impact induction, but this is just like free to use. My personal choice is double charged up into solar resistance. The reason why I'm using double charged up is because I'm using the Spire set, because I don't have a really good Vault of Glass armor set. But if you have a Vault of Glass armor set, like you can get away with only one charged up or even like 0 charged up. My recommendation for resistance, if you are running in a Vault of Glass armor sets later on, is Concussive Dampener, Solar Resistant, and Arc Resistance. If you're running one charge up, is Concussive Dampener and Arc Resist. And if you're just running one, I would say like just Solar Resist. You're good. On the boots, Recoup, Stacks on Stacks, and a Harmonic Scavenger. So we're getting like a little bit more ammo on our Still Hunt and on our rocket launcher. Recuperation can give us like that small chunk boost of health, while our health is regenerating with restoration. Stacks on Stacks will just help us getting our armor charges up. On a class, I'm using the classic combination of Powerful Attraction, Special Fini, and Reaper. For the artifact, this is what I'm running. I highly like, the most important one is obviously Solo Operative, right? This is the where we are getting most of our damage. The other perks that are really important is Fever and Chill. Just get permanent radiant when we're just shooting our Still Hunt. Kindling Trigger is also really good. Wished into Being is kind of underrated. It just helps you like getting your super at the last moment, right? Sometimes running is a little bit tough and you don't have your golden gun. Armor Smith is just a little bit interesting, because like if you break the shield of the Chieftain, you're getting some damage reduction, and these 2 slots are like pretty much just fillers. You could use Argent Ordnance on this if you're running the Vault of Glass set for damage, and that's pretty much for running. Now we go over to the damage loadout. Damage, we are swapping to the Nighthawk. So that's your Nighthawk. So our Still Hunt just turns into a 1 fire shot, one golden gun shot, and also our golden gun will turn into a single shot. For the armor set, I recommend either the Spire set or Vault of Glass. I highly recommend the Vault of Glass set over the Spire set. It just makes managing your armor charges easier. It just makes being on plate safer, because like the moment the upper power spawns, you're getting restoration too at the same time on the plate. So it just makes everything easier. So I highly recommend the Vault of Glass. For the loadout, I'm switching to the Vulpecula. Right, primary weapon goes from Shattering Bone to Vulpecula. This is like pretty much exchangeable for any shoot to loot with explosive payload weapon. So yeah, that's just like there to grab some ammo. It's just pure utility. Obviously we have our Still Hunt and our rocket launcher. Nothing changed on the subclass. Here are the mods that I'm running. Triple super font, so we are pushing more on the super stat. And on the boots, we are running double solar weapon search and 1 solar holster for the rotation. And on a class, I'm running double time dilation and powerful attraction. Stat wise, try to aim try to have 200 weapons and as much super as possible, right? Like the best case is like 200 weapons, 150 super. It is not the end of the world if your melee and grenade stat is a little bit lacking, because we are doing more than enough damage at Witness nowadays. So you do not need to stress yourself too much, but your rotation will be a little bit choppy. And that's pretty much for damage. The last loadout is our Final Stand loadout. For Final Stand, I recommend a slice weapon, a primary slice weapon with a lot of handling. My choice would be the Crafted Imminence with slice, hatchling, flared, fluted, and I think I have a handling masterwork with quick access. So having that and everything else pretty much stays. The reason why we're using a slice weapon is pretty much just the one we do the rotation sequence for Final Stand. We will proc a slice with our grenade radiant dodge, and it will boost our golden gun by 10% with Facet of Courage. For the hunter rotation, just copy what I'm pretty much doing. I highly recommend practicing the rotation in the shooting range before going into the Witness. There's a small trick with the Kate, with the Still Hunt, to get the instant Kate. The moment you are switching to your Still Hunt, make sure you hold the reload key. So the moment you're getting the last stack of your Still Hunt, you will pop Kate immediately. For the third phase and final stand, just pretty much keep an eye on his health bar, do the rotation, and just keep your golden gun for final stand. Try to bring the Kate and the gold gun for the final stand, but it is not the end of the world if you don't have the Kate ready and if you use it to push it. Just make sure you have your abilities ready for the final stand. Either save your Transcendence or just have your normal abilities ready. Okay, before going over Warlock and Titan, there are two things we gotta know. First one is the Radiant tech. So pretty much, if you have Fever and Chill equipped, and you have an aggressive sniper with only 3 shots in a mag, you can get Radiant with only 1 crit. That's really, really important to know. Also, for the truth, we gotta understand how Prototype works and how Reaper works. Prototype is pretty straightforward. It's just as long as we hit something, right, 3 times with the truth, it will give us Prototype on the next reload. And that's how we can stack our Prototype, which gives us a higher fire rate on our truth. And cluster bombs too, as we can see, compared to like no Prototype. Right, this is the fire rate on no Prototype. To maximize DPS on the truth with the Prototype, we have to sprint cancel after our reload. So what I mean is if you shoot the truth and just reload and hold aim down sight and shooting, you see there's a small firing delay after the first rocket, right? But if we do the sprint cancel, right? Reload, cancel, there's no firing delay. We are already in scope. The reason why there's a firing delay is because Truth has 2 different fire rates when shooting from the hip, right? This is shooting from the hip. This is shooting aim down the sight. It has 2 different fire rates if you have Prototype. Next thing is, how do we get Reaper, right? How do we prepare Reaper and Prototype at the same time? First, we gotta understand how Reaper works. Depending on how many ads we kill with our truth, we are getting Reaper up to ×4. ×4 is a 40% damage buff. Here's how we do it. The moment you're getting 2 or more kills on your truth, there will be a small grace period. And since Reaper works on shooting the truth, not hitting something with the truth, right, to proc it, we can take advantage of that. So what I usually want to do is, in running, is I shoot the Subjugator 1 time with the first truth, right? After a moment, I would check if I have Reaper ×2 or not. Because like sometimes you will kill multiple ads with the truth. If that's the case, just shoot another truth at the Subjugator. Later on, you will have 1 shot in your truth, and all you gotta do is just like kill 4 ads with 1 shot and reload, and there you go. You have Prototypes times Prototype and Reaper ×4. The option that's usually gonna happen. Well, the normal scenario that's like usually gonna happen is like you shoot 1 truth at the Subjugator and you get no Reaper stacks, right? That is the normal situation that's gonna happen. After you're done that and you check for your Reaper, all you gotta do is shoot both of your truth shots and make sure you hit something with it, with both of the shots, and you kill a combined with the 2 shots like 4 ads. That's pretty much it. Because of the grace period, it enables us to kill a lot of like it allows us to not proc Reaper in time. So for example, if I shoot here and then here, we get Reaper ×4 because there's a small grace period before the perk is online. So right now, for example, we have Reaper times 4 again, and Prototype. That's what you gotta do in running to prepare, to prep for the damage phase. Also, really important, you need the Catalyst. Now to the Warlock setup. So for Warlock, I am running 6 loadouts. There's one for running in first and second phase, one for DPS for first and second phase, and also a second damage loadout to swap in the middle of the damage phase. And I also have another set like for running, for third running, and for third DPS, and for final stand. Let's go over running first. So on Warlock, I'm using the exotic Karnstein because it helps us staying alive in running. Running is a little bit harder on Warlock, but it is doable for sure. Weapon-wise, still the same Chattering Bone, but I'm using Last Foray and Truth. You could use any solar aggressive sniper, but my recommendation is Last Foray for sure because it has rewind rounds and snapshot, which makes the gun like really pretty smooth compared to, for example, a Keen Thistle. For the subclass, I'm using Nova Bomb with Empowering Rift, Burst Glide, Arcane Needle, Vortex Grenade, and for the aspects is Feed the Void and Weaver's Call. For the fragments is Facet of Dominance, Facet of Protection, Facet of Hope, Facet of Courage, and Facet of Justice. I am not using Facet of Dawn because the Arcane Needle on Witness are really iffy, and most of the time they just hit immune. But if you want to use the Arcane Needle, right, try to aim a little bit below his crit spot, and you at that spot you have the highest chance to getting an Arcane Needle hit. For the weapons, I'm using Chattering Bone, Last Foray, and Truth. Right, make sure you have the Catalyst for the Truth. And Chattering Bone is like the same as on Warlock, right, with Attrition Orbs and Chaos Reshaped. And here are the mods that I'm running. I'm running double heavy ammo finder because we are doing most of our damage with the Truth. So having a lot of heavy is beneficial for us. Obviously, Kinetic Siphon, because we are using a Chattering Bone, Kinetic Loader for the Chattering Bone. Heavy-handed could help us out if we chuck an Arcane Needle at some ads. I'm using a Grenade Font, just because like the Grenade stat is lacking compared to the melee stat. On the chest, I'm using 1 Concussive, 1 Arc Resist, and 1 Charged Up. And on the boots, I have a Void Scav, stacks on stacks on the class, powerful attraction, special affinity on Reaper, and obviously like recuperation on the boots. Armor set, I am using a 4-piece Kingsfall again. The same, like almost same recommendation as on Hunter applies, except like the Vault of Glass armor set piece is a little bit weaker on the Warlock because we are not running Facet of Purpose here. So I definitely recommend like the 4-piece Kingsfall, or you could use 2-piece Kingsfall and 2-piece Salvation's Edge. That's also a really good combination. And if you're really struggling on ammo for some reason, then you could run 2-piece Kingsfall and 2-piece Europa. For the artifact, I highly recommend having these perks set up. The most important ones are like Argent Ordnance and Solo Operative. That's like the most damage we are getting. Obviously, we have Fever and Chill for the Radiant, Kindling Trigger, so we're doing a little bit more damage. Wish into Being helping us to get orbs before, like at the end of our, like if we are really close to our Nova Bomb. Armorsmith, they're getting some little bit resistance, and Blast Radius because we are actually doing rapid fire blows. So we will be, we have a full armor charge. Like we will have a lot of armor charge after stacking our Truth. For the damage setup, I am changing the Chattering Bone with the Vulpecula again. Just like any shoot to loot explosive payload weapon in this slot will work. Everything like subclass, everything stays the same. I'm swapping to the exotic Sanguine Alchemy here. We are boosting our Truth damage even further. Here are the armor mods that I'm running. It's a double super font with Radiant Light. You could use a triple super font, but I am a little bit lacking on the weapon stat, so that is my choice with Radiant Light. Stat wise, make sure you have 200 weapon and as much super as possible. The abilities like Grenade, Melee, do not matter at all. Having a high class is beneficial, but it is not necessary, and that's pretty much for damage. The second part of the damage rotation is I'm swapping to the Still Hunt, and I have to swap the Truth off because it is an exotic weapon. I have just like any filler weapons, in this case just a Heathen Vengeance in here. I'm changing the mods, so I'm changing from Void Surges to Solar Surges here, and I have a Solar Loader on here, but everything else pretty much just stays. For running, the stat wise, just make sure you have like 200 weapons again and at least like 100 super. The third phase running on Warlock, I am switching from Karnstein to the exotic class item. I am running Apotheosis with the Star Eater role because it will help us tremendously in the final stand. Here pretty much the mods again. Almost everything is the same. Make sure try to have like as much weapon stat as possible. Like try to aim for 200, but it is not the end of the world if you are having a little bit less. And also try to have at least 100 super. That's really important because you need to have your Nova Bomb ready for into the third phase. This is the damage setup. Third phase. Here are the mods. I'm switching again, like from Chattering Bone to Vulpecula, and this is the final stand loadout where I'm changing to the Imminence, and everything I swapped to a triple harmonic loader. Really important hint: try to have at least 2 or 3 stacks of Star Eater before going into your third damage phase. You can get the last few stacks via your Void of Glass armor set, right? Because that's what we are using the Void of Glass armor set for damage, right? For all our damage phases, because it is absolutely insane with Argent Ordnance combining with your Truth. And this armor, and also the Walk of Glass armor set will also help us stacking the Star Eater for the third phase into final. So make sure you have at least 2 to 3 stacks and just farm in the third phase for the rest of the Feast of Light stacks, and then from there you go to final stand. For the Warlock rotation, just copy what I'm pretty much doing here. There's one important note: you do not need to extend the Reaper. You will see it in the rotation later on. So it is not necessary. It is just, if you want to maximize on damage, you could do that, but it is 100% not necessary. Also, if you ask why I am always switching or doing something between the shots, it's just because of travel time. Because Truth needs some time to reach the Witness because of the distance. And if you reload your Truth immediately after shooting the rockets, you will not get Prototype, because the last rocket will not hit in time. So that's why you see me doing something in between. In this clip, you will just see me pretty much just farming for the armor charges, and you gotta make sure that you have Prototype ready for the final stand. That's the 2 most important things. Keep your eye on the health bar, make sure you have Feast ×6 into final stand, and that's pretty much it. And then from there, just copy everything what I'm doing. This is the Titan setup that I'm running. For the exotic armor piece, I'm using Second Chance. It's pretty much like the reason is because we need the 2 shield throw armor charges, so that's why I'm also running it in my running loadout. But most of the time I'm not gonna use any grenade or any melee at all, because it's so important for the damage phase. Armor wise, I am running 2-piece armor wise I recommend running, like, as again, 4-piece King's Fall, or you can use 2-piece King's Fall with 2-piece Europa, or 2-piece King's Fall and 2-piece Salvage's Edge. Right now I have my 2-piece King's Fall and 2-piece Europa, but I highly recommend the 4-piece King's Fall. For stats, I recommend 200 weapons and at least 100 super. For the weapons, I'm using, as on the Hunter and Warlock loadout, Shattering Bone. For the sniper rifle, the Last Foray, as the same on Warlock, and obviously our Truth with the Catalyst. For the mods, our mods, I'm running Triple Heavy Ammo Finder, because that's what I like to use. You can swap 1 Heavy Ammo Finder for a Kinetic Siphon, because it will help you out a little bit. For the subclass, I'm using the Twilight Axis, combining with Thruster, Strafe Lift, Shield Throw, Suppressor Nade, and as the aspects, I'm using Knockout and Diamond Lance. Knockout can help you out with a little bit of survivability, that health regeneration with Knockout can save you some time. For the fragments, I'm using Dominance, Facet of Dawn, Facet of Protection, and Rune and Justice for the stats. For the artifact, I am recommending pretty much the same one as on Warlock. The most important one are Argent Ordnance and Solo Operative, and Fever and Chill. The other ones are Kindling Trigger, Wished into Being, Armor Smith, and Blast Radius. For our damage loadout, I am just switching my Chattering Bone for the Vulpecula again. Just any shoot to loot explosive payload weapon will work in that slot. Exotic armor stays on second chance, subclass stays as the running, artifact is also the same, Last Foray and Truth is also the same. I'm just switching my mods, so I'm running like 2 Super Fawns, 1 Radiant Light. I'm running a Harmonic Loader, Harmonic Dex, and a Solar Dex. I'm running double charged up with a Void Resistance and triple Void Weapon Surge with double Time Dilation and Powerful Attraction. Make sure you have like 200 weapons and try to have like 150 super. Everything else don't really matter, because we are later on just cancelling our prismatic to get our abilities back, because a second chance is unfortunately bugged with Transcendence, so the debuff does not work. In the middle of DPS, I will swap to my Still Hunt right after we are emptying the Truth. So pretty much it's just switching the Last Foray for the Still Hunt and the Truth for any heavy weapon that's not exotic. It does not matter, in this case I have just a Slammer in, but I am swapping mods. I have triple Inflight Compensator for more airborne effectiveness, grabbing ammo if needed, but it's probably most of the time not needed. I have a Solar Loader, a Solar Dex, running triple Solar Weapon Surge, right? Because we are switching to a Still Hunt, and that's pretty much it. Everything else stays the same. And for third phase running, this is my third phase running setup. I'm running Unciviled Discourse, because like it's for the button prepping, and everything is just pretty much almost the same. It's like triple heavy ammo finder, melee font, yeah, you get me. So here are the mods. For the subclass, we are just switching from Twilight Axe to T-Crash, and for damage is pretty much almost the same. Right, this is for damage. These are the mods. We're switching back to a Vulpecula, still the Last Foray, still the Truth, still the same artifact, just having T-Crush on here. And for our final stand loadout is this. It is just the same as the damage before, but I'm just switching the rally barricade, like going from thruster to rally barricade to cancel our transcendence. Much is what we do. We pop our transcendence and then switch to this loadout. Same thing goes like for the first and second damage. It's like same thing, right? For the first and second damage, after popping transcendence, we switch to the still hunt loadout here, and then it's just like switching from thruster to barricade to cancel our transcendence. So for the Titan DPS, just pretty much copy what I'm doing right here. A lot of rules are also applying from the Warlock one for the Titan, because like it's the same gun, but with a different variant, because we are using our abilities to check in between instead of the sniper. For the third phase to final stand, it's really important that we have prototype for final, and we are not using any shield throws after popping transcendence. And that's how you can solo witness on all 3 characters. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the Discord or ask me live on stream on Twitch. I will also add full runs of each of the characters at the end of the video. So if you're not sure how it looks like, you can see a full run for yourself. But that's it from me for today. So I appreciate you guys for watching the video, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.
final fate still has a place for you.